Hey guys, welcome back to Management Matters, Paragon Intel's weekly update on everything that mattered over the week prior when it comes to management. Of course, you have our CEO, Ty Popplewell, and myself, Colby Howard. Now, Ty, we are seeing a little bit of a trend starting to emerge over the past couple of months and even through COVID when it comes to C-suite vacancies. You want to start out with that?
Yeah, we've been tracking this, Colby. Really interesting. We're seeing a lot of retirements without succession plans. There's more vacancies than ever before and more interim tags than we've ever seen. The question is virtual work sort of disrupting the natural progression of succession plans? Give us a call. We also have ideas on who we think should be in what seats. But just a few examples this week. We did see, sadly, the Hasbro CEO pass away after a long bout on the health side. Interestingly enough, the company did not seem to be prepared, grabbed a board member and put him in the interim CEO seat, just one example. Also saw situations at Citrix and Acadia Healthcare. Again, it's something we're tracking, but it is different than it has been for the last few years. Want to talk about proprietary research this week, a few interesting situations. I will start with Peirre, Denis, CEO of the tech SPAC Tailwind Acquisition Corp. We did do some interview work on him. There were some red flags. We're concerned that it could impact what companies that they could buy and who will be willing to sort of do business with them. So something to watch. We also published our analysis on Bed Bath & Beyond CEO Mark Tritton, analyzing his capabilities around merchandising, the customer experience, financials, building a team. I'll say there are some strengths, but there's also some glaring weaknesses, so worth a read. Lastly, our director of research and I hosted a couple of webinars. The first one was our top 3 short ideas, which are Walgreens, Intel, and Virgin Galactic Holdings. I'll just point out on Virgin Galactic, our director of research, Bill Campbell, actually came out and said he thinks it might be a 0. Really, really interesting. And then we also hosted a call on ACV Auction CEO George Chamoun, an interesting situation and I think worth a listen. Colby, can you talk about what appearances we saw this week on the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit of a lighter week, but there were some heavier appearances. By that, I mean Solarwinds CEO Sudhakar Ramakrishna and his VP of Security, Tim Brown, went on the IT Pro podcast, a very apropos podcast to go on, given everything that happened last year. And Ramakrishna actually talked about joining the company after that hack happened last year, what it took to get the company's confidence back internally and also getting the customer confidence back. Really interesting. And Tim actually gets a lot of hard-hitting questions. It is called the IT Pro podcast. Again, a good hour-long nerding out type interview to look into. And we're starting to see SPACs speaking out. This is an area where we've actually known more about the people taking the companies public than we've actually known about the company executives themselves. The COO of Hims and Hers, we know them for fertility products, ED, hair loss. Melissa Baird, the COO, went on How I Got Here to talk about her career. It's been very wide-ranging. It's and just really someone to know more about, considering it's a very logistics-focused telehealth company. She's going to be someone that's very important to them recovering from their current decline in the stock price. The other one was Matt Ishbia, CEO of United Wholesale Mortgage. This is a classic tale of a 12-person family-run business turning into the #1 wholesale and purchase lender of mortgages in the entire US. He's someone who was on finance, sales, operations side before taking over as the leader of that company. Just a great story overall. And this is a way to get to know who he is. On the video side, this is more of just a cautionary tale. There's really no need to see Frank Calderoni, CEO of Anaplan's keynote speech during the Elevate 21 Cloud Conference. Some CEOs still have not figured out virtual. He's just looking at slides for a straight 30 minutes and reading. He talks about how his company has adapted to this new virtual world. I don't think he has it all. So if you are looking as to something to skip and you're an investor in Anaplan, this is definitely one of those things. And to wrap it up, Ty, you want to talk about one of the big executives on the move this week?
Yeah, I think we have to mention legends, Henry Kravis and George Roberts, who announced their succession plans at KKR. We talked at the beginning about a number of companies that had not done succession planning right. And of course, the two legends from KKR would nail it. But I think we have to highlight those two stepping aside and how they dramatically changed the market over the last 30 40 years, but we have to mention those two. And with that, that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us for the weekly Management Matters with Paragon Intel.
Thanks, guys.